like goofballs. So just the oh gosh.
Hello, everyone.
Hi, everybody.
Hi.
I haven't even had anything to eat or drink today. I'm freaking hyper. All right. Anyways, hello, everybody. Welcome to CosTalk Live. This week we have with us we have with us HRH Geeky Creations.
Hi.
Who, has made incredible costumes. Is a younger costumer, under 18, I believe. Yes, and so we wanted to get a perspective because all of us are old ladies.
We are all old.
Except for Kii-Chan. We're not old yet, almost. But we
Sam
figured
and I are the only ones in like the senior home, I guess. But like,
yeah,
we're the older cosplayers.
I'm only halfway there.
We're the senior home cosplayers.
We've got the whole spectrum today. We've got the young cosplayer, the middle-aged cosplayer, and then like the geriatric cosplayers. And that's Sam and I.
I think I'm officially fully geriatric though. Like
Sam, you're basically on death's door. Like
I am, guys. I don't know what's gonna
Sam.
We're kidding. We're really not. But yeah, okay, so why don't we go ahead and have you introduce yourself? Is it cool if I call you by your first name?
Yeah, go ahead.
Hermione, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm 16. I started when I was like 11, which is really fun. Yeah.
I have a feeling you've probably like outgrown some of your older costumes, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you've also won awards. I see all the awards in the background.
Yeah,
I was a part of the team that gave you one of those, and I did not even realize it. I was like, wait a second.
Yes, Sam, you did give her an award. That was at Tucson.
I know, but I don't know. This is the thing. When you meet cosplayers, you learn their cosplay handle. You very rarely hear their first names. And then
that's so true.
Yeah. And then they talk to you in real life. You're like, do I know you?
I feel like when cons
like, I only know you in this one costume. Who are you?
When cons start up again, I'm gonna have to like relearn everyone's names. Seriously, it's been too long.
Yeah. Well, thank you for joining us, Hermione. Ambrose, let's go ahead and have you introduce yourself.
Hi guys, I'm Liz from Ambrose Cosplay. I've been cosplaying for about 7 years now. And I do mostly Disney and fantasy, but starting to branch out. I'm actually working on a video game cosplay right now. If you guys have been following me on Instagram, I've been sharing progress for Aqua from Kingdom Hearts. So I'm finally doing some non-Disney stuff, you guys. Today, I'm always the lame one who doesn't wear like a full cosplay. And that's because my cosplays are like not easy to sit in or put on. So I'm wearing my hood from the cosplay company. And I'm not gonna lie, I am like obsessed with this thing, you guys. It's so comfortable.
I wear it around the house when my head's
I feel like an assassin whenever I wear it. I love it. So I'm not really in costume. I was thinking I would do like a Natasha Romanoff type of thing, but now that I'm seeing my hair is very like orange on camera, so I'm like, I don't know if that really fits, but I am wearing my hood from Cosplay Company. If you are looking for like a hood, order from these guys. Oh my gosh, this thing is so luxurious.
It's so warm.
It's so warm. It's so wonderful.
You'll be seeing my pictures soon enough. I've just been busy on other projects.
I'm done. Someone else introduce themselves.
I will take that segue. I'm Kii-Chan Cosplay from the Pacific Northwest. I've been cosplaying for like, I haven't done the math in a long time, like 13 years. I also started at a very young age. I started cosplaying when I was about 13, 14, and have just been ongoing since. I think that cosplay is a really great place to be at any age because there's so much you can do. There's so much opportunity to learn stuff. So it's really exciting. And this episode's actually, I'm very excited for it. I've been excited for it for a while. So yeah, hello everyone. Thank you for being here, new and old.
And I am Sam from ThermoCosplay. I've officially cosplayed now for almost 7 years. March will make 7 years. I started when I was 28, so I didn't start when I was young. So
I did not start when I was young either. I think I started when I was in college. That I made my first, cosplay, and then I didn't really make another one for like a year, and then another year after that. So I didn't start young either.
I had the shoe in the door though. I had a nerdy family, so like when I was old enough to do conventions, my parents were very insistent on making costumes to go in. So it was kind of just a rite of passage in my family.
Yeah, well, and I think too, the term the coined cosplay didn't come out to like what 2001, 2002. Like it was officially coined, I want to say in 1999, like right before the turn of the century. But it didn't actually make its way strongly. It went to Japan and just lived there for a while. Even though like the person that came here was like, oh, cool, look at this sci-fi thing, and then took it to Japan. The U.S. just totally did not use that phrase until I want to say 2001, 2002. And by that time, I was almost graduating high school. So, I didn't even know any of this stuff. And there weren't really any conventions in my area at that time. So, yeah, I am very happy to see that it has grown and that younger generations can now like carry the torch and turn it into something else too. So, why don't we have you give us a little bit of a background? Like what was your first costume and why did you get into cosplay?
So my first costume was a full bot steampunk from Spirit Halloween. It was very nice. I had these really big platform boots. I really like them. I can't fit them anymore though.
Oh.
Yeah, because my sister is really into WWE. And they had a ton of the wrestlers coming to Phoenix Fan Fusion. So we all got dressed up and we went there for her. And I like saw all of these really cool costumes and cosplayers and hand-built stuff. And so I was like, this is really cool. I really want to like learn how to sew and all that stuff.
I found your photo. I'm going to share this. You can tell me if I'm wrong. I'm a photo stalker.
Magic.
Sam is like the photo sleuth.
No, that was the second one.
Okay, close. Okay, all right. Well, I'll let you
I'm like, Sam will never find this picture, and then she finds it. Like, how? I don't know how she does it.
I found it, I think, maybe. So we'll talk about the awesome steampunk costume. And that's the thing, too. Like, starting off with a bot isn't a problem. Like,
yeah, that was the one.
Spirit Halloween, actually, lately their quality has been very impressive, especially with the props. I don't usually buy costumes from them, but a lot of their props are really nice and screen accurate. So, I mean, good job, Spirit.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm doing, so I'm cosplaying Kirishima Ejiro from My Hero Academia. And I am going to be doing his fantasy AU from the third ending. And I bought these wings from Spirit of Halloween, and they're just, I could never make anything of that quality. They are just absolutely gorgeously casted, and they just need some color touch-ups, and they're perfect. And I'm so excited to use them.
So why did you go, you said you went with steampunk just because you like it, or why did you choose this one first?
Yeah, I really like the like mismatched pieces and how it doesn't really have to look perfect. So I figured that it was like really good for my first thing. And we kept seeing these really cool pictures of all the gears and stuff. And I really like seeing how things work. So doing steampunk was a really easy thing to start with.
That makes sense.
One of my first ones was a steampunk costume as well. I agree. It's really easy to mix.
Now, can I find yours? I'm going to see if I can do this.
Oh, Sam, don't. Don't do this. Our viewers' eyeballs.
I found, oddly enough, there's a lot of people that when they first start costuming, whether they're young or old, it tends to be, or anywhere in between, it tends to be either like kind of apocalyptic or steampunk. And I think it's just a comfort level thing where you don't have to be perfect. You can embrace whatever original character you've created in your mind, and then you kind of build your confidence. Is that why you did that too?
Yeah.
That
I'm going to add pirate onto that slate. Pirate's a really good
pirate for sure. I think they're good. They work at like the Ren Fair too, and like I think steampunk is kind of one of those costuming that like it can be cosplay, it can be its own thing. Oh gosh, Sam, how did you do that? Sam,
I am the master of finding.
Look at it.
I think it looks good. This is the thing is like steampunk, like you said, steampunk, you can use mismatched objects and just create your own reality, and it looks fun and enjoyable, and I'm sure it's a lot more comfortable than like this is something you could sit in and like kind of relax in for a bit. Yeah. Because that's the thing too, if, like you said, if you're going to a convention for the first time and you're joining a family member or someone and you're not really sure what to expect, don't pull a Sam and make your first costume all armor and leather. Instead, please do something like a pirate or steampunk or apocalyptic, something that's easier to wear that you can walk around in and enjoy the atmosphere of the convention for at least one day.
I know Spirit of Halloween, they now also have the My Hero costumes, and they're really good quality. Like I missed out and didn't buy one. I should have, but that was back before I was hardcore into it. But like the qualities are so great, and really and truly, I think a lot of people miss the idea that, especially when you're a beginner, like you want to suck in all that atmosphere. You want to go enjoy your panels. You want to go and enjoy going to signings. You want to enjoy maybe watching the costume contest first, seeing those beginning stages, and then once you fall in love with it, just go dive in head first.
Yeah,
for sure.
I just casually decided not to watch a costume contest before because I'm like that. So I had no idea what I was walking into.
Yeah,
you obviously did really
why don't you
well.
tell us about your first costume contest?
Yeah.
So it was Phoenix Comic-Con. One second, I have a cheat sheet. 2017.
That's good. Keep track of that.
This is the photo that I found. So this is the other one that I photoed. So I'll pull that one up while you talk about it. Okay.
Yeah, so that's it. The corset piece I altered a little bit. And here, one second, let me like stand up so you can see this beauty. Yeah, this was my first thing that I fully like made.
Nice.
And, yeah, can this one? Yes. Opens with when you pull things. And these are like bottles because I didn't really like have the money and I wasn't sure if I really wanted to do it yet. And like this is wood from an entertainment center. So it was really just like piecing things together.
So did you follow some kind of like tutorial or what someone else had done? Or did you just come up with all of that on your own?
It was like a little book
at
a steampunk convention, and it had like all of the instructions and what to like buy and stuff.
Nice. Very nice.
And then the little like points down here are actually kebab sticks.
Love it. That's great.
I thought they were chopsticks at first, but
whatever works.
Yeah. Yeah, and then I painted out a little like Nerf gun to work, but that was the year that Phoenix had to ban all weapons for the second.
Oh, yes. That's right. I recall.
Yeah. My mom was wearing this really pretty 1950s dress with a pretty little poof skirt under it. And we detached the gun from me and we shoved it up her undershorts so that we could sneak it in.
Her bloomas. You gotta have weapons in your bloomas just in case.
Yeah, you never know. You never know.
You never know.
Yeah.
So you hadn't watched a masquerade before you entered? Is that what you were saying?
Yeah, I hadn't really even like seen anything until I was on stage afterwards when I actually looked stuff up for it.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, if I remember correctly, you, both you and your sister kind of started like in the kids contests, right? And then there kind of came a point where you had won so many kids contests that they were like, okay, you need to compete with the adults now because you just keep winning this every single year. Is that kind of what happened?
Yeah, and they just had me skip the novice category. So I started with adults in the journeyman.
They really put you on hard mode.
I kind of same story. Like before, I was really into competitions and like I'd watch them, but I was never really part of them. But as soon as I finally started competing actually officially, I basically just got bumped up because they're like, "Well, you do too much. Like we can't just put you in the novice category." So I just overlooked that, and now I always compete in the journeyman or higher because it's like okay, thanks guys, sure. Yeah. So I totally get it. And your work, like before we started, I was gushing over that pack because it's so cool.
Thank you.
Seriously, it's super cool work. Well, I mean, and Sam and I have both actually judged Hermione before in a costume contest. I've gotten to judge her twice as a masquerade judge, and her work is absolutely spectacular. Like just incredible sewing. Like I wish I knew how to sew as young as you've learned how to sew or taught yourself how to sew. Very, very impressive work.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I know that you were like, this is the Tucson Comic-Con. I believe this is the one that we judged at.
Yeah.
And I mean, when later on, like Liz was telling me about it, I was like, wait, what? Like, what?
She's how old?
I'm so jealous. But no, I mean, great work. And I'm like you said, it's probably really nerve-wracking to go on stage and be like one of the youngest in the adult costume contest, because they're usually, I think the youngest person I've ever seen in a costume contest was like 14, and this person had a father who was an engineer who assisted them. But most other people, like most of the creators, they have assistants, and that's like having some assistants totally fine. Like I even get assistants sometimes because I'm like, I don't know how to do this.
Yeah, the only like real assistance that I have is with the power tools, because I can't be trusted with them because I'm very and would cut my fingers off.
I feel like there's an interesting story there. Let's see how many fingers you have.
Please tell us.
I still have the full 10.
Oh, we have them all for now. Okay.
For now. And my mom is allowed to do 3 things for me. She is allowed to use her debit card to buy me things, drive me to the store to buy said things, and then use the car to drive to said place.
All right. Okay. That's fair.
All right.
So do you find that your mom, I know that your mom is very supportive of your costuming. Does mom pay for a lot of the materials? As you've gotten older, have you started paying for more of them?
I have started trying to pay for them, but she buys a lot of them because she knows that I really like it. And it's kind of like a hobby type thing. So she's really nice about helping me fund it.
Nice. I mean, it's expensive. If you have someone who's funding it, like,
I'm
pretty
by all means.
I mean, that's what you said in the beginning. You use like bottles and like the back of old entertainment centers and like kebab sticks. And using found objects, if you're wanting to start out and you're not sure if you actually like creating or if you prefer buying, that's a great way to do it.
Yeah, like in my Dobby costume with his really tall collar, there are still kebab sticks up in the collar to keep it up. We're still using kebab sticks.
You're like, no, kebab sticks have to stay for life. Okay, I think I have this photo of, here we go. I think this is...
it's not complete unless it's got a kebab stick in it.
Right, when you find your tool, like, you just always use it. Like, I love your Dobby so much. I'm working on a Dobby myself, and like I hope it looks half as good as yours is, because like it's so good.
I was gonna put him on today, but it takes me 4 hours to fully get in, and I would have had to wake up at 4 a.m. So I was like, no.
I totally know it. It took me about 4 hours to get him on when I did him the first time too.
Yeah,
but it looks so good.
The only character I've done that's had to have like really I've had 2 characters, but one of them like the cape helped hold it up, so I didn't problems. But I had to do Thane Krios from Mass Effect, so I literally took that really thick EVA anti-fatigue floor mat foam and stuck it inside of spandex, and then added little snaps. So look, the whole thing was standing up. There was just foam in it, so that I could like peel it off with Velcro and snaps and like wash the rest of the outfit, but like. Standing up collars with kebab sticks. That's awesome.
You're creative.
You can also use the like dog cones of shame. That's up.
Yes.
That's a perfect tool for that. Oh man.
For sure.
Dog cone. There we go. That's what you're going to do. It's so cool. So what was you said you went to Phoenix Comic-Con. How many conventions have you been to since that first time? Like what
Let me count my little cheat sheet here.
Cheat A person.
You're so much more organized than the rest of us. We're just like, oh gosh, I don't know. It was a long time ago.
Seriously, every time I introduce myself, the number of years that I've been cosplaying changes every single time. I just like pick a number, honestly.
So I've done 8 since Phoenix.
Nice.
And
do you have like a favorite one that you like to go to?
I really like Salt Lake Comic-Con. It was a magical experience.
Very nice.
Yes,
I haven't heard that one.
I haven't been there either, but I've heard amazing things about Salt Lake.
About twice the size of Phoenix.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So it's a good size. That sounds like so much fun, and I need to at some point go there.
Yeah, let's go, Sam.
Yeah, I mean,
I just invited myself with you.
It's fine. You know what? We'll just all invite each other and go together.
The masquerade starts like on time on the dot.
What?
And that was an experience.
Wait, are you sure? Has that ever happened?
It's always nice to hear a masquerade starting on time.
No, I'm pretty sure it's just Phoenix that's terrible at that. Like other cons I've been to don't have that.
Sometimes Tucson. But yeah, no, most of the conventions, you're right. Phoenix is just cursed.
I think Phoenix just, they say, well, and they always schedule it like later too. And I'm like, no, schedule it earlier than you think because it's going to end up starting later. That would be the smart thing to do. They're always like, it's going to start at like 9. And I'm like, no, it's not though. It's going to start at 10:30 and then we're going to be here until 2 a.m.
Which I have been there.
So late, like SoccerCon, we always like, we have 8 a.m. We go in, we do our mic support, we hit the stage, we do our walkthroughs, make sure everything's working. And then by like 10 a.m., we're hopefully starting the show. Like, it's always such a big process, which I mean, starting it late means cosplayers have time to get up because like Saturday on SoccerCon, me and my crew are usually up at like 4 or 5 in the morning prepping because we have to be on stage doing tech support by 8 a.m. And it's a ride. Oh my God, old school shit. Whoa, that's a blast to the past.
Well, we're talking about where we kind of get our starts. So like I think
Seriously.
years back.
Sam, literally every time like you bring up an old photo, I'm like, the ancient texts. Like,
I guess
how dare you, Sam?
Johan, my blue costume right there in the middle, the blue and the red characters, Johan and Jaden. These are, Jessie was, I think, I want to say like my second or third costume I ever put together. I had a lot of help from my grandmother because she was the one who taught me how to sew, but I did do everything but the wig by myself. And I still actually use most of that costume. Like when I wear him, 90% of his costume is still what I did 10 years ago, just because it was so well made that I just don't ever want to change it. Like I just absolutely love it. And also that wig is the best wig I ever owned. It was actually styled by mighty Melinda Chan, and it's like my prized possession. She's such a wonderful cosplayer, and she's the one who really inspired me to do Yu-Gi-Oh! And so, but Johan, I love him, and like, if you have an old costume that you love, like, re-wear them. One of the things that I've had to learn now that I've been cosplaying for 10 years is like, you can re-wear costumes. Please do it.
What?
Like,
are you sure that's allowed?
There's so much stigma about like, you wear something and then you're done. It's like, no, I've spent this whole CosTalk live trying to like redo as many costumes and rewear as many as I can just because it's so much fun, and now I'm getting more screen time and more pictures in these costumes, and I did Johan a while ago and it just warmed my heart because I love him so much.
I think the only place that holds any water, the not re-wearing costumes, is if you have already won a competition in a costume. You're not supposed to compete in it again. That's kind of like the unspoken rule. Like not that that's like a hard and fast rule or anything, but like if you won a competition in one of your costumes, you're not really supposed to bring it to future competitions since it was already a winner. I mean, depending on the competition, if it was like a Halloween contest or something, that I feel like that hardly counts. But like if you won at San Diego Comic-Con, you're really not supposed to take that costume to other conventions, masquerades. You kind of get a little bit of a side eye from people.
Like, what's going on? Yeah, no,
unless it's heavily remodified, like if you put out a piece and you're like, I didn't like how this is, and you heavily remodify it and change a lot of the details because you like it better, then that's fine. But like, yeah, if you
we've definitely seen those ones where people take their one costume and they just take it to every convention's masquerade, and you're like, I've seen you win before like 3 times in this very piece.
Yeah. No, I agree. So I just wanted to come back around here because like this, I was talking about like the first costume I've done was a demon hunter from Diablo 3. And like, this is old school, terrible film, but apparently I was sassy. I could not walk in the leg guards. You can see me like walking. Because I didn't know what I was doing and I was trying to look all sassy and stuff. No, I just looked goofy. And it was one of those learning moments that like, okay, so this isn't going to work. I was one of those people when I first started cosplaying. I realized that like I can't really wear armor on my legs unless it's fabric, or if it's like if it's magnetized to the front or back, that's fine. But if it's on the sides of my legs, because of how my heels lean in, I'm always hitting the sides of them, and so like. I had several times where like when I was on stage 2 years ago as a Yojimbo at Phoenix Fan Fusion, and my shoe broke. on stage as I kneeled down, and it looked like, I mean, I felt like I was tripping, and people were like, "Oh, I didn't see anything. I thought you were just acting." I'm like, "That's
yeah,
great."
no, it looks like you did that on purpose. If that makes you feel
I
better.
literally was like, oh crap, and like I tried to keep the oh crap off my face. So, but what had happened is because my feet lean, I have like a damaged tendon because they lean. The whole side of it had just collapsed, and it wasn't built properly, and I didn't know that. So yeah. Test your stuff out too beforehand.
Oh, yeah.
That's one of the.
I am so guilty of this, you guys. Literally, the first time I wear a costume is almost always either the photo shoot or the competition is the first time I have the whole thing together. And it's very telling what I planned well and what I didn't. As soon as I put it on, I'm like, uh-oh, what have I done?
With my steampunk platforms, they were a size too small when I wore them. So for the next month, my toenails were blue.
Oh no!
And it was just like, I may have made a mistake.
Like, this was not a good choice. Why did I?
Things we do for cosplay, you know.
Yeah.
So, being that you're a younger costumer, do you face any adversity in the community? Are there things that you have that you struggle with? Because there's a, obviously, Arizona has a very big competitive community.
It's mostly backstage at competitions where I'll be talking about how I'm competing and what I've done, and older cosplayers at like almost every con that I've gone to have looked at me and gone, "You're too young, sweetie. You're not going to win anything." And it's like, okay,
what?
Yeah,
are you
rude?
I've seen some of the cosplayers in our group take like the biggest awards. So,
and like, it's really awkward, especially at my first con where I'm in it and I'm really proud of it. And the guy goes, "You're not going to win." And it's like, that's a perfect thing to say. And yeah, it happens like everywhere.
So what do you do when people say that? Because I'm sure there's a lot of younger cosplayers out there that feel kind of
experienced exactly that, you know.
I am very motivated by spite.
That's fair.
I mean, that's a great way to do it. And obviously, like, just because you're young, it hasn't slowed you down at all. Because you're competing with us, people who've been cosplaying for 10 plus years or 5 plus years.
Yeah.
And so it just shows, like, there really is no age in cosplay. Like, if you are putting your passion into it, if you're putting your hard work into it, if you're proving yourself and putting the hours in, because I've seen a lot of the things that win are because of how much love that person put into their costume.
Yes.
And if you're putting in that much love, if not more, then you deserve the win. Like, if I saw you at the convention with that steampunk pack, since I've judged before, I'd be all over that. I'd want to see you open it up, and I would want to like walk around you. Like, I'd be so excited. And like, your age never crossed my mind. It was just what you put into it.
Yeah. Spoiler alert: judges usually don't ask how old you are.
I had no idea because I'm like, I feel like that's rude. It doesn't matter what your age is. And so when Liz is telling me, "Oh yeah, well, she's been doing this," I was like, "Whoa, well, yeah, I feel lesser." Thanks.
I was bragging about it. Not that I have anything to do with anything you've ever made, but I was bragging anyways. I was like, I know her. The person who just chose to win, I know her.
Yeah, the majority of people backstage are really nice, but there's always that like couple and few who always are like really weirdly rude to you for no reason. But the majority of
people get very hyper competitive with masquerades. It is very personal. You've made this costume, and I think we all, because we were there for the making of the costume, think that our costume is just the greatest. But you can't control who shows up that day. So
it's also really fun when people are looking at me, and when I look kind of like younger in the costume, they always look at me and they're like, "So where did you buy it?" And it's like, I don't really know how you buy wings that open on motors and are an 8-feet wingspan made out of real turkey feathers, and I'm backstage at a masquerade. But okay.
Although, to be fair, just being in a masquerade does not prevent people from like buying the whole costume. But you do make a good point. That would be insanely expensive.
Like, even after I reiterate that I made it completely, they re-ask, so where did you buy it? It's like, okay.
Yeah, no, I love the backstage presence because 90% of the time it is such a fun family.
Yeah.
Like you just make friends backstage. Some of my really good friends I met from competing. And it's such a great experience, but there is always going to be that one or two discouraging.
Yeah.
And my advice one is like if somebody tells you you can't do something, that should just make you want to do it 100 times harder.
Yeah.
Like
Oh yeah.
I don't let anyone tell you how good your costume is, and don't let anyone like discourage you because it's like, oh, you must have bought it. It's like, and like, why do you think that? Like, did you buy your wings? Like, did you not know you could make this piece of a costume? Like, don't ever let anyone else's words discourage you because usually they're trying to fluster you. When you do go on stage, you mess up. And so, because for me, a really important part of costume contests are the walk on. When I see you walk on, when I see you in character, that really brings that costume to life for me. And so, like, a lot of people try to like fluster you, so you go on, like, you lose points from that. Don't do it. Like, you just keep running. It doesn't matter what age you are. It doesn't matter how much you put into that costume. If you love it, you just want to show it off and do it. Like, go on stage.
Well, and if it makes you feel better, there will be those people, no matter how old you are. I've definitely experienced, you know, those people who get super hyper competitive and then they just say things that you're like, why? Why would you say that? That's rude. After I, you know, Heidi and I won Best in Show at San Diego. In the green room, you know, you go to get the rest of your stuff and then go home. There were people who were like, in their groups, like, well, everyone thought we were gonna win Best in Show. Like, while we're in there with them, and we were kind of like, sure they did, Jan. And you know, one of the groups even turned around. They were like, oh, but you guys did great. I'm like, yeah, you're right, we did.
Did really good.
It's kind of like there's always going to be those people. So take whether you win or lose, take it with pride. Like you still got up, you still competed, you still did something a lot of cosplayers don't even have the courage of doing. Like it took me almost 10 years to even start competing. I didn't really start doing it until my partner was like, come on, just do it with me one time, like so you can join me backstage. Like it's for fun. And so I really hadn't done anything until I got that kind of extra oomph to go do it. And so it's like just put a smile on your face whether you win or lose, because like I've lost my fair share of costumes contests, but usually the winner I'm like, yes, like I will because you deserve that win.
Oh yeah, for sure. I don't think I've like very rarely, honestly, do I disagree with the judges, and like, you know, that's why they're the judges. There are probably things about the costume that I don't know about. For the ones I'm like, why that one? It's like I don't know the whole story, so it. Who knows? There could be something absolutely spectacular that I'm not seeing.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna share another video. This is from Tucson Comic Con 2017 when I did Thank Frios, and I was so nervous because backstage there's this group, there's this brother team in Tucson that builds huge costumes.
Oh yeah,
and I was like, I was so discouraged because everyone in that green room, like most of them were nice, but there were people just like you were saying doing like talking negatively. And I was like, you know, I'm just going to go out there, be my same goofy self, be upset that I have a banana gun because I couldn't bring a real gun. You know, like that was the whole joke, is I was playing a joke on the fact that like Tucson would let you bring the gun, but then, you know, we couldn't do it at Phoenix and other places. Right. So,
we both competed. At Tucson that year, we both competed in the master category, and when I saw your costume, I was just like, goodbye, I'm done, I'm out. She's won everything, all the awards, I'm going home.
So, well, and the thing is I've had that problem too in that specific costume, is I had a couple people come up and go, oh, cool, so how did you modify your mask? And I'm like, no, I sculpted it and I created a mold for it and I cast it from scratch. This is silicone. Oh yeah, sure. What kind of latex is it? No, it's platinum cure silicone. Like Well, how did you color it? I painted it with alcohol paint. Learned my lesson. But yeah, no, I've been there before too, and I agree that like you can't let people bring you down. Like in the moment, it is going to hurt, and it really sucks when people discriminate against you just because they assume that what you've done, regardless of your age, your height, your gender, is completely impossible simply because they can't fathom it as a reality. So just keep moving forward, because if it makes you happy,
it's always like, wait, you thought that it was good enough that I got it commissioned by someone professional?
like cool.
Thanks.
Because it's going to be like $400.
Right? Those wings, oh my gosh, those wings would sell for like thousands. Like that's not even like an exaggeration. Like wings that are that size and like open up and retract, those go for like
like Crooked Feather, I think sells just like the harnesses alone for like $1,200 or $1,500. So the fact that that's already made and done, like, and the Crooked Feather too, it's just a kit that you put together with the servos. It's not, you don't even. I mean, if you want it built, you have to pay even more. So like, if you want to keep it on the cheap end, okay, here's $400. Here's their servo and all the steel. And you have to put it all together. So like, in my opinion, you're still building it.
Oh yeah.
I was like looking at her site and seeing everything, and it was like, I can't afford that. Right. My brain went, we can make it for 500. That's reasonable.
Oh my
gosh.
god.
I reverse engineer this. Let's see.
If I were recklessly wealthy, I would like commission so many artists for just ridiculous cosplay things. So many.
That's the thing too. Like, I mean, that's another thing. I'm sure that like even adults, we face, people contempt for what we do, because how is it possible that you as a hobbyist can do this? I can only imagine it's even worse when you're younger and you're still kind of developing your skill in your craft.
Yeah. Well, especially like when you're a teenager, I think people expect you to act like an adult, but they still treat you like a kid and don't take it seriously.
It's really strange when you kind of cosplay a younger character and they're like, oh, so you should be acting like an adult in it. And they're like, I'm 16, so not really. But
oh yeah, no, I can definitely see that happening for sure.
So what was your favorite experience so far? Like what like stands out to you as something that was an achievement that kind of started moving you forward?
I think it was my first win in an adult category in my Wonder Woman. It was an honorable mention, and that like really kind of set me forward of like, so I can stand with the adults and still be okay, which really helped me keep going and seeing that like, just because it's one of my favorites.
That's awesome. Like reassurance that you actually do belong in that group with those same skill sets. That's great.
Yeah, I keep saying that I'm going to retire her, and then I just find another excuse to put her on.
I make you put it on for pictures.
Yeah, I'm going to try to find those. I think they're up here. Here we go.
Yes, yes. This was me and Hermione. We did some Wonder Woman pictures together. It was literally like a dream come true, like the old versus new. I love it so much. And it's ironic, you see, because I'm the old one wearing the new costume, and she's young and she's wearing the old version.
That's so
oh my gosh. I don't know about you, but I feel so powerful in my Wonder Woman costume. I feel like I could slay like 1,000 men anytime I put it on.
Are there certain costumes that you specifically wear, Hermione, like when you're like to a convention to like feel more in control or more confident?
Yeah, definitely. This one is like really helpful because she's such a strong character in Game of Thrones. So it's like walking around in the boots and the leather all feels so good. And then my Dobby recently has been so powerful feeling because he's this like really big presence in the show with all this great power, especially in the manga recently. So being in him is such like a powerful feeling, and with the wigs spiking up, and they're my platformed Doc Martens, so they always
gotta like. What do you do? Are you doing a paint? Are you doing a latex? Like, how do you do all of the prosthetic pieces?
So it is a layer of liquid latex with little pieces of toilet paper over top that you pick at to make a texture, and then you paint it. And then the staples are like real staples that I bent in to be able to apply to my face.
Yep.
They're cool.
I pretty much did the exact same technique. So yes, that is. But it's so cool because like when I put my Dobby on, I had kind of the same feeling because I do a lot of like squishy hero characters. Dobby's the first villain I've done in ages, and so when I put him on, I was like, whoa, I feel so good. Like this is such a strong costume, and it took so much work that you just feel really proud of yourself for putting 4 hours of a costume on.
Yeah. And then, like, when I walk, the trench coat kind of billows out around me a little bit, and it's the best feeling. It's almost like having a cape.
Yeah, that's my Dobby. I did the exact same technique, except for instead of latex, I actually used Elmer's glue as my base, like latex, because it's cheaper, and my latex went bad, and I wasn't expecting that. Motivations. But I love Dobby so much. It's been such a dream costume. I'm actually working on making full prosthetics.
Ooh.
Skin for his arms and his neck piece because I plan on wearing him to conventions, and I'm like, I ain't gonna do that every morning. So
Nobody got time for that.
But I'm not gonna do 4. But he's such a fun costume, and I'm so happy with him. And like my staples, I did the same thing. I just stapled a bunch of pieces of paper though, and then just pulled the staples out and glued them.
I have these like little surgical type pliers from an old friend's dad because he was a surgeon and he had plenty extra, so he gave them to us. So it's really easy to bend them.
So cool, lucky, yeah.
All right.
I spent like an hour trying to bend them myself, and also roped one of my friends into helping me like make as many staples as possible. And I was like, "Why is this so hard?" And then our other friend was like, "You can just like staple a piece of paper, right? And it's the same effect." I'm like, "Oh."
And then like when you're breaking them off of the like really big staple thing, they always fall apart into singles, and it's like, okay.
Yeah,
Like,
no,
yeah.
totally get it.
So we have a couple comments from Joe saying that steampunk rocks, and
Agreed.
when the older people are told that when they do cosplay, hey, isn't that for kids? And so I think it's ironic that like younger people dressing up are asked to act older. Older people are asked, why are they doing something like only young kids would do? So I think cosplay still has some
There's
stigma.
a small window where you're allowed to cosplay from the ages of 18 to 20, and then everyone has to retire immediately.
Yeah, what was really nice with my Darla was that I was allowed to kind of act my age because she is really young.
Yeah.
So I wasn't expected to act older. Yeah, and when I was in that costume, the girl who plays Matilda was there, and she saw me across the con floor, and she yelled at me that I looked really nice, which was the biggest validation.
Oh, I love Mara Wilson. Oh, she's so good.
Trying to find this picture. There it is. I found
I
it.
love the Darla too. Oh, so well done.
Here we go.
Come on, Sam, don't fail us now.
Oh,
Yay,
that's fun.
So cute.
Yeah, that's me at my orthodontist's office.
That's great. Oh my gosh. I love
Why
it.
not take advantage of having headgear? Why not?
Might as well, yeah, seriously.
I didn't have the actual like headgear. I just had the braces, so I ended up making the headgear out of wiring.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Really good.
Yeah, very nice.
Mm-hmm.
You have such creative cosplays. Like I love to see that you don't have a niche. Like you do movies and video games and anime and manga. Like you have this really nice wide variety, which I love seeing at a like.
So how do you choose your characters? Yeah, because that's why I mean I've been looking at your stuff. Like, how do you choose? Is it just the character you identify with, or is it something on them that you see that you want to make?
Usually I'll end up watching a show or a movie or reading something, and I look at them, they're like, that character design is really cool. I'm gonna, like, while watching and reading My Hero Academia, Dobby became my favorite character, so it was like, I should do that one. And with Arya, it like really was that I thought that she was so cool and powerful, and I really like wanted to be her. So the costume was the first like step to that.
Nice.
That makes sense. So do you have any plans for this year, or do you have any costumes that you're planning on building?
I do. I have quite a bit of ideas. I have a really pretty Elton John It's his
Ooh.
1975 Dodgers costume. It is
I'm
hand-
excited for that one.
Ooh.
I've seen like some of the progress on that one. That one's going to be great.
Yeah, that one with his hat. I took it to school, and then during study hall, I would bedazzle it just in the corner with my little bedazzler working on it.
That's fair, I think. I'm a teacher. You don't need to, like, that time is not being
No, my
spent
grades are fine. It's
wisely.
fine.
Go ahead, rhinestone.
You know, I may have done things at school like that, aka drew all over my notebook and not actually took notes. But that's just because school is too slow for me.
My notes were mixed in with my doodles. Like, there was only one class I ever had that I never drew in, and that's because it was so intense. I didn't have time to. But like, all of my notes were always just like pictures with like words mixed into it, and I wish
feel
I
like
thought
if
about being
cosplay had been
cosplay to
prominent-
work on. Like, I feel like I would have gotten so much more done.
Yeah. If cosplay had been prominent when I was in school, I would have made like a costume a week.
Right?
So we've got Matt saying, Geeky Creations, miss you kids. So you've got a fan out there who misses you. Now, I know that like with the pandemic, a lot of us have kind of been stuck figuring out how to stay creative. What have you done being a younger cosplayer? Like what have you done to stay kind of in the zone, in the cosplay zone?
Halloween was really helpful because it was like a deadline that I had to meet. Whereas like with all the other ones, it's like, I don't know when this is going to happen. And Salt Lake said that they're going to try for it, which is kind of helping with creativity because there's a deadline for it. But like mostly it's just kind of sitting there like, I know that I should work, but I don't have a deadline to get it done. And I suck at self-imposed deadlines.
Honestly, I'm the exact same
online
way.
stuff? Because I know that there's some online things that you can like enter. So I don't know if that would help with the deadlines.
I mean, I haven't been a huge fan of the online competitions myself. I've been like kind of looking at a few and just been kind of like, just to me, it doesn't feel the same. If people have been using that as motivation, that is awesome. It didn't really work for me personally. There's also been a few like little scandals with the online competitions that have come out too, of people, submitting something that they bought or commissioned the whole thing. And, it's really hard to prove that when you don't see it in person, you only see it on a video, right? Or people who like straight up just like edited an unfinished costume to look really nice and submitted pictures of that. So there's been a couple like scandals coming out with those competitions lately that, I mean, I guess are to be expected. You can obviously cheat in an in-person competition too, but yeah, that has not worked for me. I've felt kind of the same way without a deadline. I've been very like, I'll work on it when I feel like it.
I have the time management skills of a fish. It's not going to work. Unfortunately, my favorite part is walking across the stage and doing that performance and being able to like the audience, and you just don't get that through a camera. So
my favorite part is judging. I
love judging too.
I like talking to the judges. I don't like being on stage. I have horrific stage fright, and I've had to learn for the years to get through it, which is me, Sam, horrific stage fright, and I like competing. What? It's because I like the green room. And my camera's not focusing because it's too white. Sorry, camera. Anyway, I like the green room and I like talking to the judges because then I can learn a lot of stuff. But yeah, I thankfully walking across the stage has never been motivation for me because that's the most frightening part for me.
Oh gosh, I just love the whole thing. I miss all of it, honestly. Like just the whole competition process from beginning to end. I love all of it.
Performance was that's my favorite part. Like I'm great if there's a crowd. I'm awesome if there's a lot of people and I can't really make out a face. But if I'm one-on-one with a judge, I'm like shaking and like, oh God, like can I get through this? So for me, it's like I need the spectacular event.
What we're saying is that I need to be your pitch person. So you guys take me with you to your judging, and then you can help drag me across stage, right?
Yeah.
We all
I
trade
hope
off.
maybe at the end of this year I can come and join a convention with you guys because that'd be amazing.
Yes, Kii-Chan, please. Hopefully there will be hopefully end of this year.
Yeah.
Saboten, we got to kidnap you for Saboten. You can stay in our hotel with us.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, it is law. We've decided.
Yeah, and like for some people, it's been a year since they've been to conventions.
Yeah,
My
over a
last
year.
convention was in March. It was Kii-Chan. So I know that that's another thing that motivation's been tough because there's nothing to look forward to. That's actually why we started CosTalk Live. We started this stream to try and communicate with cosplayers, to bring people in that we know, to bring in new people, to kind of motivate others and kind of inform them during this unreliable times. Streaming has helped me. I stream every Saturday with my fans, and I have to craft during that stream. Otherwise, it would be super boring because it's just me. So I know that
you're never boring.
Thanks.
I could listen to you talk about costuming for a long time.
Apparently, I put people to sleep with my voice.
No, I have never found that to be the case.
Okay, that's good because I've had someone go that they listen to my videos just to go to bed, and I'm like, I don't know if I should feel honored.
Is that a compliment? I can't tell.
I mean, some people say that you can learn through, like, if you have something going when you're sleeping, you like osmosis learning. And so maybe they're sucking in your knowledge.
So, but that made me laugh. And I know that we all kind of miss being in masquerades. And I think one of the biggest things is community. And that's why we were pretty excited to start bringing more people on. And I'm happy that, like, Ambrose was like, hey, what about HRH? And I was like, what is it that I'm not already following you when, like, I've seen you at so many conventions? And that's the thing too, like, I'm starting to get better. Like, the pandemic's done one thing where, like, hey, who was that person? I've been able to, like, hunt down all the people that I actually never got a chance to because I was going to, like, 10 to 12 events a year, and I was so busy that I just kind of lost track of all the people that I enjoyed seeing.
And it's always like, I know that you're at the con somewhere. I have no idea where.
Right.
Nope, no idea at all. So you said that you have some plans. What costume you want to tell? Can you share one or two costumes that you're planning on doing with us this year?
It's my Elton John, and then I'm like trying to plan out some of my like own design ones.
Oh, cool!
It'd be really cool.
Ooh.
Are they more so for your original designs? I think I've seen you do like yeah, I saw you do this here.
Kind of like a Disney bound sort
The
of.
Dapper Day
Yeah,
stuff?
right.
Kind of
Right.
like taking a character and then like changing their costume a bit. Yeah, that one is really fun.
That was cool.
It is fun. I love those colors. They're so vibrant.
Yeah.
The skirt is so big that we had to use a ton of the table chairs as a circle around me so that the skirt wouldn't fall off of my machine. Because it's all felt, so it's heavy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. When I'm sewing heavy materials, I basically like lean up against my desk as close as I can, and like I have like the fabric pressed into my body. I'm like, you will not go anywhere. Like a little old crow, like, arr. But no, that's really cool. And I think original designs, I feel like right now when people are kind of like, well, I can't do any groups and I can't do a lot of the other stuff, original designs are probably going to flourish. We're probably going to see when and if events start picking up at the end of this year, we're probably going to see a lot of original designs. A lot of people
hope so.
I always wanted to do this and I didn't have a group to join, so I had a lot of time and I made my own thing. So
That's my goal for this year too, is to work on my own original designs.
I'm taking like a character and really changing the costume to it so that it's a more detailed version, if that makes sense.
Nice. Yeah, I love that.
That based off of the original costume.
Especially like cartoon characters, you have a lot of license to add details since they tend to be very, very simple.
Yeah.
And my next big project is going to be fantasy Kirishima, and like he's kind of canon because like they have the fantasy ending in My Hero, but like they never went out and like ever said that Kirishima was the dragon in the animation. But there's actually a set of novels that exist, and in the novels they make it canon that Kirishima turns into a dragon. And so I got that validation, and I'm like, I'm just going to run full force because when I was first wanting to do this costume, I wanted to add the wings, horns, and everything. So now I'm just going to go full board and just my own design for this piece and do a big dragon piece because I've always wanted to do a dragon costume anyways. So I'm so very excited to try something new and play with the new design. So I totally get that, which is something I hadn't really ever thought about doing before the pandemic, is just taking a costume and then altering it to my own devices.
Yeah.
I do that all the time because I am not normal height or size.
Well, I was in that mindset where it has to be like canon from the show, and so I spent a lot of my time focusing on making the replica of things.
Right.
And so
When I first,
it
like,
wasn't
started
until
cosplaying,
Yeah,
I was
I
the
started-
same exact way, where it had to be screen accurate, and now I'm like, "Pff, no, never again. Like, I am doing whatever I want with this.
right. If you want to add your own embroidery, if you want to add your own details, like he has this really big scarf in the fantasy outfit, and I think I want to play with it and do like a different embroidery for it. Because my Arabian Haru, that's what I did. I decided to walk away from the screen accuracy and actually play with the embroidery and add more beads and add more details. And it was something I had never really done with the costume, so it was really nerve wracking. But I love how he turned out, and I can't wait to bring him to a convention.
You must become alive. You must become alive. So we're getting into like the last 5 minutes. So if anybody who's watching right now has any questions, please go ahead and post them in the comment section. Hermione, while we're here, do you have any questions for us or any advice for cosplayers of your age that you'd like to share?
Usually just run purely off of spite. And then when you meet the actor character, you have to be like kind of careful, because with some of my costumes, I've met the actor and it was a horrible experience.
Oh,
Set back from it, and it was like really hard to get going again. So you just like have to. The actor is different from the person.
Right.
Keep that in mind.
But that's the thing too, is you kind of have to embrace the character themselves and know that whoever's portraying them may not have their same qualities. And separation of actor, actress versus character is definitely an important thing. There are certain voice actors that I refuse to interact with, but I love the characters that they portray just because of, what I've experienced with them and what I've heard other friends experience with them. But yeah, no, that's good advice, is kind of separating reality from fiction. So
right.
Yeah, definitely there. All right. So Hermione, where can people reach you and find you and learn
Follow your progress?
So I'm on Instagram, and this is my little handle.
I'm going to show everybody. We've been showing it the whole time. So if you all haven't followed it yet, you're mean and terrible. It's right here.
How dare you?
Are you going to Nagisa from Assassination Classroom? Yes!
It's reverse on glass. I love it.
It's so cute. Look at it. It's so cool.
I adore Assassination Classroom. Such a good show.
So guys, go follow her immediately. I have seen her work up close. Like, she is going places. Like, I will not be surprised, like, the day when we are competing together and she, like, beats me just all out. I will be so proud. My heart will soar. But seriously, her work is amazing. It only gets better and better and better. Like, go follow her immediately, right now.
So we have a question. I believe this person knows you. Any green room cosplay family stories like sandwich throwing? I need to know about the sandwich throwing.
Yes, what is the sandwich throwing?
Yes.
It was when you were in your Anna with Hans and you threw the sandwich and you just hit the MC.
Now, I wasn't the one who threw it, just to be clear. That was Hans. That villain, that cur. But honestly, like, that is one of my favorite con memories. A friend of mine gloriously captured video of the sandwich hitting the MC, and just like, I like sometimes watch it like on slow motion. It's like a back massage. Like, it's just so wonderfully refreshing.
It's so magical to just watch it fly.
Now, this was not a real sandwich, everyone in the audience. This was a fake sandwich. We did not throw like a legit sub sandwich onto a person. That would be cruel.
Wait, is this at the masquerade that you chucked the sandwich and hit the? Oh, here we go.
Yes.
All right, I found it. All right, here we go.
You found the video?
Of course, it's Sam. What are you talking about?
It's right at the beginning. Oh, did that one get the sandwich hitting him cut off? Oh,
See, guys, you saw the sandwich.
it's so good. We don't have to watch this whole thing, Sam.
Oh, that is so cute. Oh. But now I'm sandwich. I will have to find the video, the infamous video of it hitting the person. This will happen.
We will have to post it on the CosTalk Live Instagram.
Yeah, we'll do that. We'll post it. We've been posting like funny clips of things, so we'll find this video and be like, look, sandwich Chuck.
Fond memories.
So yeah. Then Ambrose, where can everybody reach you?
Once again, guys, I am Liz from Ambrose Cosplay. You can find me on Facebook under that name. Instagram, it's Ambrose_cosplay, and same thing on Instructables.
All right, and Kii-Chan?
I'm Kii-Chan Cosplayer. I'm here from the Pacific Northwest. You can find me on Facebook as Kii-Chan Cosplay. That's Kii-Chan as one word. And then Instagram, it's Kii-Chan_cosplay, like my handle that is covered up by our beautiful CosTalk banner.
Oh, there we go.
And I have finally fallen to the dark side. If you guys would like, you can follow me on TikTok as tiny_raincloud on TikTok. I'm just finally getting stuff up. So
the dark side.
Yeah, I know.
And I'm Sam from ThermoCosplay. You can just go to www.thermocosplay.com. You will find everything. I linked out everything there. I even included all of our CosTalk links there too. So,
Sam.
Hermione, HRH Geeky Creations, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Awesome. And everybody, we will see you next week. Hang on, I'm going to tell you what we're doing next week. Distraction chat.
See, this would have been a great spot for the sandwich video.
Oh no,
but
the distraction. The sandwich video. Oh yes. I mean, why am I so slow at this? But I think we're wig dyeing. I think we're talking about wig dyeing next week. Yeah, next week we're talking about wig dyeing. So it's wig dyeing 101. I have very little experience with this, so I'm just going to be sitting going.
I just dyed a wig recently. Successfully, I might add.
So thank you all again for joining us, and have a good weekend. Bye, everybody.
Bye. Have a great weekend.
Bye.